So this is what the inside of your hosting cPanel looks like once you're signed up to Bluehost. Or at least this is what mine does. There's some slight variations on it sometimes, but this is mainly what you're going to get. So what I want to do is install on WordPress. So it's very simple. I just go install WordPress. This is just to install WordPress onto my actual domain. So I click this and it gives me this here. So I get to choose the domain I want to install on. So I've created a subdomain, so I want to install an example.jilliansarah.com. So I have so many here. Where is it? Oh, it does it alphabetically. That's a good point. Right. Where are we? Example.jilliansarah.com. So that's where I want to install my WordPress, and I'm just going to leave the directory blank. So I press next. I would ignore the let the pro do it for you here, as that's why we're doing this course. So the site name, I'm just going to call it WordPress example. My admin username is going to be Jillian Sarah. My email address, I'm just going to have info@jilliansarah, and my password, I'm just going to set this password at 123 right now. So I then press next on this, and it will do this for a while and take me to another page where it will try to sell me themes and stuff. So it'll just sell you add-ins here, but I'm just going to ignore all this because I'm not going to use any of that just now. It's going to load for a while, and then it's going to appear here that it's ready. Normally it takes like a minute or so to do this. So every time I talk, I get attacked by a cat. Doesn't like it when I'm not paying attention to her. Any minute. This does normally take like a minute or two, but that's fine. And that's me got an email through, so I'm guessing it means this is going to update any second. Yep, Bluehost next software by WordPress. Here we go. Click here where it says, and it will take you to this and give you installation details. So it tells you your username and your password. So I'm just going to click on example.jilliansarah.com, and it will take me to my login page. So your login page for your WordPress account will always be your domain /wp-admin. So WordPress admin. So if I was just building on jilliansarah.com, it would be www.jilliansarah.com/wp-admin. And it will show this. So right now we're going to type in username, and I'm just going to type in password 123 ! And I want it to remember me because I'm going to be in and out of here all the time. So this normally takes a little bit to load if it's your first time building on this, if you've just installed WordPress on it. So when you log in later, it should be fine. It's just taking a minute here, but that's fine. Here we go. So this is the first thing you will see when you log into your brand new WordPress dashboard. So it will walk you through it. And just for this, I'm going to go through. I normally press I don't need help just so I can set that all up, but it's a good way to just kind of go through everything. So I'm a business, and it will tell you to set your title and your site description. So the site title, I'm going to put WordPress example Jillian Sarah. So that's what my website name will be. My site description is almost like my tagline. So how to build a basic WordPress site. There we go. Am I ready to launch it? Am I going to update it with news and blog posts? Yes, I am. So I always tend to go for a static welcome page. Otherwise, if you do just have most recent news and updates, then that will just tend to take you into things like a big blog. Like you'll go in and your homepage will be your blog, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to go static welcome page. Build a starter contact us page. Okay. And I want to connect it to WordPress.com. I always say yes because this gets you Jetpack, which is A lot of people hate it. I really like it because it tells you just a really simple overview of how many visitors you've had to your site. It sends you emails when your site goes offline. It does a lot of like spam comment blocking. It's a simple overview tool. I don't use it to function anything. I just kind of use it to kind of get the gist of what's going on. So I'm just going to connect that, and there we go. Personal data. Yeah, okay. So my address I can put in there. I'm just going to leave that for now. Am I looking to sell online? We can install WooCommerce. I'm going to do that later and show you that in a different module. So I'm just going to press not now. And my site is ready to, well, launch apparently. It's really not. But if we go on to it, this is exactly what a new WordPress build looks like. I'm not sure what theme it's put on. Right, so this is the 2017 WordPress theme. I don't know why it's not giving me 2018 as a default, but this is just your standard WordPress theme. One of the first things I'm going to do is change this, so just ignore it. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a brief overview of where things actually are in your panel. My Wi-Fi is not my friend today. Right. So Bluehost, you can pretty much ignore this. I'm not going to use this right now. Jetpack is really good. Your site should come with that installed on it, especially if you're running through Bluehost. It will always come with that installed. If not, I'd recommend it just because it's just, like, see, I go to activate recommended features and it gives me my overview. It lets people subscribe to my blog if they want, so they get updates from when I post. So my site stats will show up there. No activity, that's fine. This will scan for like failed login attempts. This will scan for spam comments. If you've got any updates, then they can go on here. Your backups you can use, but I don't tend to back up through Jetpack. I tend to back up through my host, and I also tend to just back up and download copies of my websites just in case the worst happens. So again, it's good. Once you start installing things like WooCommerce and stuff, they'll show up in your dashboard too, so you can see all your sales and things like that if we go to dashboard. So Jetpack will just give you kind of an overview of just your actual website. So I'm going to press this X here because I don't really want any of this anymore. What's it doing? There we go. So you will notice you'll get an awful lot of these. Now, that's something I really don't like about WordPress, is all the notifications in the world. Yes, so like this is trying to sell me constant contact. I don't want that. Configure Google Analytics, I will go into that. Allow Monster Insights to track things. I'm going to say yes because Monster Insights is a really good way of using Google Analytics as well. So we're going to set it up through there as well later though. So this is your dashboard. Again, it's just a brief overview of everything. So you'll see how many posts you have, how many comments, how many pages are running through your thing. This is just WordPress events. I don't really care about that. Recently published, so I've just published a blog post called Hello World. That's just a standard one. You will all have that as soon as you install WordPress. It's their first one. Again, you've got a site stat overview, which tells you login attempts, comments, all things like that. So that's fine. So what we have, that tells you about WordPress. I don't think I've ever used that button in my life. If we press the home here, that takes you to and from your web page. So if I click it now, it will take me to my web page. If I click it when I'm on my website, it will take me to my dashboard. Here's where you can see updates for your website. So if I go into that, I will see as I hover over it, it says one plugin update. So that's fine. I'll do that in a minute. That's where I can see comment counts. I can add new posts, media, whatever I want there, but I'm not going to use that tab. And this is my cache. Am I saying that right? Sometimes if you make an update, it just might not appear depending on how you've got your settings. If you make an update and you can't find it, just press purge and it will. Caching is really good for load times. If I set it if I set it up so it means my customers, when they go into my website, it will load first. It will load once when they go in, and every time they go in after that, it will just automatically appear as they almost have a backup of my website saved. So if I purge that, it removes the save, and then they get the latest updates on it. Like, they will always get the latest updates if I do this. So I'll go into that more later. Updates under dashboard will just tell you what plugin updates need done. So this will probably be a marketplace update, I'm assuming, because they normally are. Oh, everything's up to date. Okay, there we go. That is fine. Posts are where your blog posts go. Media is where all the images and files you upload to your website will show up. Pages, you can see an overview of all the pages you have on your website. Comments, overview of all the comments on your blogs and things like that. Feedback, I don't really use that. WordPress forms, you can build contact forms, but the theme I'm going to use, we can do that through anyway, so we don't need to use that. Appearance is where we upload themes and we can edit code and stuff. I would not recommend pressing this button unless you really know what you're doing, otherwise you can seriously damage your website. Plugins is where we can upload all your new plugins to and see what ones we have running on your website. Users is where your login information is kept and you can add new people. So, for example, I want you to edit my website now, so I'm just going to go in here, add a username for you, put in your email address, add your name, and send it to you. You will be able to set a password, or I can set a password for you in there. Tools is good for importing, exporting data, things like that. Settings, those determine things like how many blog posts show up on each pages, just bits like that. Like, is your website live? Does it have landing pages installed? Just various things. Insights, that pairs up with Google Analytics, which is fine. And that's another contact form option. But we are about to go through all of this in more detail. Next, I'm going to show you how to upload a theme to your website.